to the Free Kick Podcast. My name is Todd, live from the Anaheim Convention Center here at the United Soccer Coaches Convention with Kyle and Jillian Almoney from the one team we agree on. Kyle and Jillian, how you guys doing?
Oh, doing great. It's been fun here in Anaheim so far.
Yeah, it's been great walking around, getting to see all these different vendors, coaches, and just networking going on. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, it's great here. Just really getting to experience, I am experiencing Anaheim, California as a whole for the very first time. And obviously you guys came out 2 years ago. Well, we won't have to talk about that, but
no,
you guys were obviously out here and
yeah, we were like,
not a good time.
No, we were like, well, let's make some new memories out in LA, right?
For sure.
Yes.
And we have a lot of great guests, both of our shows coming on. We'll plug, as always, at the end where you can find both shows. I'm not even sure how I'm going to release the episodes to my show yet. Do I release this first or I release the guest first? I don't know. So whatever order you guys are listening to it for, the point is we're here live at the convention center. So really excited to be here, but not as excited as I am to talk about this absolutely huge Philadelphia Union news that dropped on Thursday morning here local time in Anaheim about the Philadelphia Union and Kai Wagner agreeing to a 3-year contract extension plus an option for a further year in 2027. And this is a player that the last couple of years, does he sign, does he go? He said, yeah, my goal is to play in Europe. I want to go back into Europe. And Kai's not been shy about that. Long and behold, here he is, back in Philadelphia for another 3 years with an option for a further year. And I know a lot of people mixed emotions because of everything that went down with Bobby Wood. Again, I'll get people caught up here real quick if you guys weren't aware with what happened with Bobby Wood and Kai Wagner. Kai Wagner got suspended for 3 games because he used a racial slur in the first game against New England in the playoffs. Kai Wagner will now miss the first game of the regular season because it was a 3-game suspension. He served 2 of those games in the playoffs. Union obviously get knocked out by Cincinnati. So then the suspension carries on to the next year if Kai Wagner was still going to stay in MLS, and he does, in fact, stay in MLS with your Philadelphia Union. Kai Wagner was taking mandated classes on racism, how to deal with that. Kai Wagner admitted to everything as soon as the game was over, which is a great step. I think that's why his punishment was not as severe as some people thought it should have been. Ernst Tanner said that Kai Wagner regrets everything. Tanner also said that the Union stood behind Kai Wagner. He said that in his press conference. I played that a couple episodes ago for you guys at the end of the season press conference. And long and behold, Kai Wagner is now with Philadelphia Union once again. Your guys' initial thoughts with Kai coming back?
Well, that was kind of wild because we had been traveling all day pretty much, and we get to LAX and we get in the Uber and pull out my phone and there it is. Big breaking news right there.
Yeah.
It definitely is good to have that left back question answered. I mean, this is MLS, probably the best left back in MLS.
Right.
And what were we going to do there? Was it going to be Matt Real or...
I guess it was Matt Real because he was the only one on the rosters.
I mean,
really, unless you want to count that U2 signing guy from the Dynamo too. Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's huge. It's huge. I mean, regardless, of everything else, it's huge from a team standpoint. I know a lot of people have very mixed feelings for the other side of it. But, and...
I mean, my whole thing is personally, I'm very excited now that we have the spine locked up. I think depending on what the Union doing, yes, there's still work to be done. We now at least know that our defensive shape is back. I mean, obviously, we still got some lingering questions what's going on with Bizo, but I mean, at this point, like a lot of people have talked about, I think that's Harrell's spot to lose. Remains to be seen, but it's exciting. I think it was the first step, and now we'll see what Ernst and the rest of the staff have planned for the rest of this transfer window heading into the season.
Yeah, I mean, and I know it's hard to put away what Kai said, but if you just look at what Kai does on the field, I mean, he's arguably been the Union's best player the last 3 years. This is a player who I think could play for the German national team, which is a wild take, I'm sure. But like, Germany doesn't have a left back, and they would never dare to call up a player for the national team that plays in MLS. So now with Kai being here, going on 5 years now, Kai Wagner could potentially get called up to the U.S. national team if he wanted to. I think somebody asked him, I forget who exactly, I would give him credit, asked him, would he consider that? And Kai said, that's not on my mind right now. Right now, I'm just focusing on the team. I mean, I think he has a real shot playing for the U.S. national team if the national team would be interested in having Kai Wagner. Yes, they have Jedi Robinson, but, competition's good, and Kai Wagner would definitely give you that.
That'd be a fun competition to see Jedi and Kai go at it in training camp. Man, I honestly would love to see that because, again, outside of Robinson, who do we have? Who is there?
John Tolkien.
Yeah, I mean,
he's just a young kid, right?
Right.
He's a good upcoming left back. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But Kai's so much more established.
Absolutely, and yeah, exactly like you said. Tolkien's great. He's got a lot of potential, but he's not at that level yet. So for United States soccer, if you want to look at it from that lens, I think this could be a very intriguing move and something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, if Kai Wagner says, you know what, I'm never getting a call from the German national team. The U.S. wants me. I wouldn't be shocked if he accepted the call. And why not? I mean, all players want to play at the highest stage. I mean, Kai Wagner has said it multiple times. And part of playing at the highest stage is playing for your national team. Now, I get it, Kai Wagner is not American, but, he said it in his press release that him and his family feel at home. That's part of the reason why he resigned in Philadelphia. And so I don't think for a second that Kai Wagner would say, yeah, I'm not going to play for the U.S. because I'm still waiting for Germany. I think Kai knows that call up from Germany will never come.
Yeah, and it's definitely a shame because he would obviously love to represent his country. I mean, that's huge. But I would love to see him get that opportunity with the U.S. if that came along.
Yeah, me too. And then you throw into the question mark Jack Elliott potentially for the next World Cup. He's been here for a minute, so I don't know. Could the Union have a couple different players that are currently with the team? Yes, we know they have former players, Mark McKenzie, Brendan Aronson, Paxton Aronson, could potentially be on the World Cup roster in 2026. And I know it seems like it's so far away, but it is right around the corner. And you'll be able to see games in your own backyard in Philadelphia at the Link. And from what people have said, Philadelphia could be hosting semifinal games. And that would be exciting, right? To see Brendan Aronson, if the U.S. get that far, playing in a semifinal game at the Link. Like, that would be fantastic. Christian Pulisic coming back home to Pennsylvania. Like, the thought of the U.S. national team playing in Philadelphia in a semifinal game with all these local guys coming back, that's pretty exciting.
I mean, think about that. What would that do not only for soccer in the region, but for soccer, for the fan base of Philadelphia Union, to see all those players? That would be massive to have, like, Aronson. Let's say McKenzie makes the squad, That's an exciting hope. I mean, obviously, USA Soccer still has ways to go, but if that happens, that will do, I think anyway, and this might be a hot take.
You're full of them.
Yeah, I am full of them. But no, I think that would do a lot just to grow soccer in that region. And, I mean, it's already grown, but it takes that next step, and that would be exciting to see. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that would be incredible, and especially because, we do have people that are local. So obviously Pulisic, we're a little biased. I mean, Pulisic's from near us. So, man, that would be incredible for our area, though.
He's from the area and plays for my favorite European soccer club.
Oh, Kyle, you were over
He's
the
killing it for AC Milan, too.
He's having, like, he is arguably, and I know this is Union Bias, he's arguably having his career season.
He is having his career season.
And he is making such an impact. I would say he's making more of an impact than McKennie and Way are for Juventus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, although I will say Way's having a really good season for them, too. But, yeah, I think that's exciting. I was excited when he signed. That was cool. But now to see him take those steps, that's just icing on the cake.
Not to switch topics, because I know we're talking about Kai Wagner, but you mentioned Weston McKennie, Tim Weah, Christian Pulisic, all having success in Serie A.
Right.
Should that be where Brendan Aaronson's playing?
Is Serie A, and let me, I don't want to say yes or no, but I think, well, let me ask you this. Is Serie A more conducive than the Premier League for United States soccer players? That's my question. I'm starting to wonder that as we're seeing more and more of these players go to that league and have that success. And I'd be curious to get your thoughts. What do you think about that?
There could be something there, right?
I mean, we don't know. I'd love to talk to somebody, that from Serie A, just say, what is making this conducive? Because they do seem to be playing well when they go there.
Yeah, I mean, Gio Reyna just switched agencies. Could he be on the move to Serie A too? He's not getting the game time at Dortmund that he wants. We see another one, another person going to Serie A, another American.
I mean, imagine him at Inter or something like that, like where they kind of are going to really help him. I mean, that would be massive for his development.
Would. But let's go ahead and get this train back on track. Talking
anyway,
about Kai Wagner, I know completely off topic there, but makes you think. So Kai Wagner, in the press release, his statement was, "I've been here for almost 5 years now and continue to grow professionally and personally. I feel highly valued here and have a great bond with the club. My family and I also feel extremely at home here. Despite other exciting options in Europe, I decided to extend my contract with the Philadelphia Union because, in the end, my heart also played a part in my decision. The MLS is an exciting league, and you can see that the development runs in the right direction, also with a view to the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which will take place in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. I'm looking forward to continuing to be a part of the league and a great club. As always, we'll give my very best for the team so that we can celebrate success together. The discussions with the people in charge here were and are characterized by a high level of mutual appreciation. In today's fast-moving world, my long time spent here has been something special. Now our relationship will continue, which makes me very happy. For me, there are definitely more good reasons to stay here than to leave. That is why I said yes again to my club with full conviction." There's a statement by Kai Wagner. Now, the first part that I read, that sounds like something Kai wrote. The second part definitely seems like that's a lot of PR BS on it.
Right.
But I mean, I think for people that follow his wife on Instagram, just how happy that family looks being in Philadelphia, the area where they were living. I do genuinely believe that how much that the family loved living here in New Jersey, loved being appreciated at the club. I do think that really played a big impact in Kai wanting to stay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was no secret how much they seem to love their neighborhood, their neighbors, and you'd see all the things that they would be doing on Instagram. And so this comes as no surprise on that end. And I'm glad that they get to keep being a part of that because they love it so much. And of course, we know Kai is now very into the Eagles, so keeps him around there, and he gets to still be a part of that. So yeah, I think this is great. And yeah, I'm glad that we'll have him around.
Yeah, I think one of the things I'm most happy for is the fact that his family gets to stay in Philadelphia, because we all talked about it. You can tell they absolutely love it. And so for me, as somebody covering the Union, you want to see players being put in the best situations, not only as a player, but for their families. Because at the end of the day, a player could love to go to Club X, but if that situation and environment is not right for the family, that now puts a stress on the family. So that Kai doesn't have to worry about that. They love it there. So I think that's one of the most exciting things is they get to keep their family in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and he has 2 young sons, and so that doesn't uproot them. They get to still be there with their neighborhood and with their environment that they're used to. So on that end, it's really good as well.
It is.
It is. Looking at Kai Wagner's stats so far with Union, 170 appearances in all competitions, 7 goals, 32 assists in all competitions, not counting hockey assists there with the 32 assists. If you do want to count the hockey assists with just looking at MLS, Kai Wagner has 39 assists, which is second all-time on the Union's list, 11 behind Sebastian Letou. You expect now with this new contract, Kai Wagner is going to be the all-time assist leader. And for me, there was a lot of question marks. You hit the nail on the head with Jillian at the beginning. Only Matt Real and the kid that you just picked up from Houston Dynamo too. That's your left backs going into the season. How confident do you feel? Not that confident. And there was questions. Okay, who's going to take set pieces? Who's going to take corner kicks? Who's going to take the free kicks? And now there's no questions around that. Kai Wagner is going to continue to take that. Kai's leadership, I think, is going to be helpful for this team, especially with Joe Bendick not coming back. Question marks around Alejandro Bedoya. So, I mean, you need one players that have been here for a while. Kai, like you said, almost 5 years now, which feels so crazy that it has been 5 years. But Kai Wagner, I mean, again, and I get it's hard to dismiss what he said last year to Bobby Wood. Not dismissing that at all. But for what he's done on the field, I mean, this is one of the Union's greatest players ever. And re-signing him is only going to make this team strong.
Yeah, I think that just makes me feel a lot better about how we're going to look going into the season. Yes, there are still question marks. Yes, there's going to be some big question marks when certain players go away, especially Andre. We'll see what happens there. But this is at least a big piece that, okay, now that's settled.
For me, I'm curious now, and maybe I'll flip this back, is now that he's here, where does his development go? That's where I'm saying, because he's such a critical part of both now. He's developed his game offensively and defensively. Where's that next step, and can he take it? Because I think if he takes that, I think it's only going to benefit the Union, of course, but that's one question I'm very curious. Where is that next step in his game, Todd? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, like we were talking about, the next step would be representing your national team, I think. So, I mean, if Kai continues to play as well as he did last season, played as well as he has the last couple of seasons, I don't see why Kai wouldn't get a call up to the U.S. national team. So I think for him, just keep playing at that high level. Continue to be one of the best left backs in MLS. With Palacios gone out of LAFC now, John Tolkien, there's rumors, will he stay, will he go? There's not many great left backs in MLS, so I'll be curious to see exactly what that development looks like. I think the goal is for him, okay, now let's try to get into a national team, whether that's US or Germany. US, you would figure, is his best shot.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I'm also curious to see what his game looks like, how he evolves his game, both offensively. We saw strides this year, I thought, defensively. I think this year was probably his best defensive year. So what's that next step look like for him on that side as well? Because if he can elevate it, then I don't think U.S. national team's out of the question at all. So I'm excited for that. And I'm really excited to see what the kind of matchup pairings are going to be because, and we talked about this, with Jack playing in front of him, he tends to be a little bit more defensive, obviously. But when Leon's in there, he can go press the field forward a little bit more at times. So curious to see that. Obviously, I think Jack's going to be the starter moving forward. But just curious to see that. That's something for me.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's one big piece that was a huge hole for the Union that's now filled, and now you can focus on other areas. I think the Union still need a number 10, a backup number 10. They need a backup goalkeeper. They potentially need another striker if Jillian Kranza is sold this winter. I do expect him to be gone, although there was a report today that said that Julian told somebody that, he'll stay through the winter time and he's hoping for a big move in the summertime. Then Jonathan Tannenwald comes out and says, well, Jillian Kranza didn't tell me that. He told me the complete opposite, that he thinks that the right move's right now in the wintertime because if I wait till the summertime, the club's going to lose money. And that's absolutely right because Julian then's only going to have 6 months left on his contract, could leave on a free the following wintertime. So the time to sell Julian's right now here in the winter, and we'll see what happens. We talk about Jillian a little bit later here. One thing though, through this whole spiel with Kai Wagner, and I don't know how many people realize this. I didn't even realize this. I knew there was like 3 agents involved. Comes to find out that Kai Wagner in his 5 years here in Philadelphia has had a total of 4 agents. 4 agents in 5 years. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think I lean towards that being a bad thing, and I think part of the reason why Kai has switched agencies so many times is because, he's always looking for that move away to the next best thing. A move to a top 5 league never came to fruition, and so Kai's like, try another agent. Now I'm speculating here, but that makes sense to me. That's the only reason why I can see that you constantly leave your agency, because you're trying to get that next move, and agent 1 can't get it done. Let's see if agent 2 can. Agent 2 can, and then it comes down to, well, maybe I should stay in Philadelphia. But I do think he does want to stay in Philadelphia. So I think part of it is, all right, the value is really not there. And then the second part of that is that I do really want to stay in Philadelphia. And then, I've seen some people say, well, maybe the racial incident really impacted the offers for him. And Ernst Tanner was asked about that at the press conference, and he said, no, I don't think so. So, I mean, regardless, Kai Wagner's here, and 4 agents in 5 years. Is that concerning to you guys?
I think it's more just he hasn't found the right agent to represent him. I wouldn't say it's concerning in terms of a knock on his character. I think he went with people that said, hey, I can get you to Europe or wherever, and never really happened. So now he's kind of like, okay, I'm going to flip back to find the person with the best representation if I'm going to stay here in Philly. I mean, that's how I look at it. I mean, he just never found somebody he was completely comfortable with.
Yeah, he might, I'm thinking kind of what you said too. Maybe this agent said, hey, I can get you this, and then he didn't. So, all right, guys might be like, okay, well, let me try someone different, and just that kept happening. So it could be a number of things, honestly.
I mean, I just have the thing on like a Zoom where Kai's like looking at his agent going like this. He's like, you're done, where he does the hand wag.
Oh, when he said to the refs, like,
oh, yeah.
He's like, that's how he's saying to his agents, It's like, I mean, I think, with agents obviously not being in the profession, don't know the ins and outs, but I think when you have a relationship with somebody like a player, I think that piece is huge, and maybe also enough, like maybe he just never felt those relationships like that person was looking out for his best interests. I mean, again, I am speculating a little bit there, but I don't know.
I am glad to see, though, that it got ugly there during the summertime between Kai and Ernst Tanner, both going through the media, both talking crap about each other through the media. And it's like, ooh, like, this relationship may not be repairable. But glad to see that they were able to come together and agree to a new deal, because, for everything that happened between Bobby Wood and Kai Wagner, it's a difficult situation. But what he offers this team, he's irreplaceable. And that was going to be a big ask for the Union to go out and try to find somebody that's Kai Wagner. And at the end of the day, I think the fans got exactly what they wanted with the hashtag Hey Kai.
Yeah, it's crazy how it went from the whole Pay Kai thing to then the other end of it. But
it was.
I do think, he has done some good too. Like, I was impressed with his involvement with, the whole pick childhood cancer thing, and he has a really special relationship with Charlotte. Yeah. And I met all them, and I met Jenny, and we were talking in the Tunnel Club one time. We did that, and but it was, I thought that whole thing was really special. So definitely, I hope to see him continue doing that stuff while he's here too.
And I think he probably will. I mean, time will tell, but to your point, during this whole period, we've all been saying, well, maybe, I've heard people say, maybe it's time to move off and we'll go find, a left back that from 5th tier, wherever, that will come in like Kai. Players like Kai, like Jack Elliott, are a dime a dozen. They don't grow on trees. It's not like Ernst can just magically go somewhere across the ocean or down south and find a player. You're sure they're there, but this gives us stability. moving forward for 3 seasons, and also maybe he still goes and finds one of those players to eventually promote, but gives him a little bit more time. Because if you're going to say, well, it's time to find somebody and move on, you're not replacing Kai year one. There was no doubt about it. So this at least gives us that level of competency at that position. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's a win-win for everybody.
What do you think Matt Real's feeling right now? It looked like, I mean, on at least paper, he was going to be the starting left back, and now here comes Kai Wagner. And, well, going to go back to backing up Kai Wagner once again.
Yeah, I believe, Matt Ralph with his River End newsletter that they do there, and they had what are your feelings on this? And one of the options was pour one out for Matt Real, and it's like,
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, he's going to have to figure out his next move. Is it USL? Is it, overseas? I don't know where, but, I feel for him. I mean, he really has never had a full opportunity, but there's probably other side to the coin. But, hey, that first game of the season, my Kai's...
Yeah, he's going to be starting, right?
I guess
so.
Yeah.
Right now, as of now, probably going to be starting. So, Matt, here's your opportunity to show that, hey, you can be a quality contributor. And if he does that, and let's be honest, with Jim, you earn Jim's trust. He's going to try to find ways to get you in. And for good and bad, let's put it that way. But, yeah, I feel for Matt. I feel for him.
For sure. I mean, I agree with you. But the one thing that's for sure is Matt Real has a guaranteed contract for this upcoming season, and then for 2025, it's a team option. And you talked about, well, Matt Real could potentially go to USL, but looking at the MLS salary guide, he's almost making $150,000. Would a team in USL be willing to pay Matt Real that much money?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
No. And so, is it something where he just goes to another club then? That's still yet to be determined, but something to keep an eye on, I think.
For sure. Yeah, and we're talking about money there, so real quick, 2019, Kai Wagner is making a little over $360,000. 2020, $390,000. 2021, $521,000. Signs a new contract that season. 2022, $581,000. 2023, $701,000. You guys think he breaks $1 million now?
I think if he doesn't, he's on that. What did Gressel make last year? Like, was it 9?
Yeah, close to $1 million.
If he doesn't break $1 million, he's like 9. Now I just saw something. Would it be
930 is what Gressel made.
What was it?
930,000.
I think it's more than Gressel. I think it's like 950 at the bottom.
Gressel just signed with Miami, so maybe he's going to get a pay bump in Miami.
Wouldn't it be something, and again, just spitball it here, but if Kai, it comes out he's making 999 point, like, he doesn't make $1 million, like Ursh's is like, nope, you're not making $1 million, it's 9.99. So, no, I mean, I'd be interested to see. Maybe it's just $1 million, maybe it is $1 million flat, time will tell, but I think he's definitely going to be in that 950 plus range.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's pretty much all my thoughts on Kai Wagner. You guys have anything else to add?
Yeah, we pretty much touched on everything. I think this has been a long time coming, and I think for Union fans, they should be very excited, to have your starting left back for the foreseeable future. I think this is going to be a good long-term move for the Union. So,
I've seen some people, though, on social media say that, well, this just means the Union are running it back again, and we saw how that went last year. Like, you want to keep your core together, and that's exactly what the Union are doing. And of course, you're going to bring in new pieces here and there, but still, I believe in, yes, the Union fell short last year. They didn't win a trophy. Talking to Phil Wedden here at the convention, I mean, I don't think you would mind this. Like, the Union's goal is to win a trophy next season. Jim says that all the time. Like, you heard him at the beginning of the season. He said it on this podcast. He said the goal is to play in every single competition that we're in. And yes, the Union fell short of that last year, whether that be Leagues Cup, whether that be Champions League, whether that be MLS playoffs. Like, I think we signing Kai Wagner doesn't mean, oh, well, it's going to be the same old. The Union are going to fall short again. Like, you want to keep your nucleus there. And you have Kai Wagner there for 3 years plus an option for another year. It's a great thing for the Union. But That's everything I have on this topic. You guys as well. So if you guys aren't following the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, follow at Free Kick Pod, wherever you get your podcasts, the Free Kick, YouTube channel, youtube.com/freekickpod. Now I'll turn it over to you guys.
Yeah, you can follow the One Team We Agree on Twitter at TOTWAG and on Facebook and Instagram at the One Team We Agree on. And we are also on YouTube at the One Team We Agree on.
With that said, my name is Todd, and this is the Free Kick Podcast.